Hey guys, it is June the 10th of 2014. I want to go over the euro dollar using price and time technical analysis. And note this is an educational video only, so please pause the video and read the video disclaimer. This is going to be a short video, just kind of catch you up on what's going on with the euro. I've been out of town last couple of days and haven't had a chance to do anything, but just been watching it. I haven't done, pretty much nothing because there's no signals for the long side. And it's continuing selling. So first thing for the newbies, you always have to have rules in order for you to go long. And one of my rules in order for me to go long is my Gann swing. This puppy hasn't changed like this in a couple of days, as you can see. This June 5th little pop, which is the seasonal date, was a nice little head fake. I didn't know it was, it probably wouldn't be a head fake. It probably would have continued going higher, but it had to deal with this pivot low right here, 36.72, and then it had to deal with the 50% of the Andrews pitchfork. So you have a double whammy right there, and it stalled right there at the Andrews pitchfork, and then came right back down. Broke through the 75, cracked through the 50%, which is at 35.48. And next support is that 35.05, which is a 25% from a bigger swing. And obviously this pivot low right here, which is a 34.76 and a 75%, 34.69. So there's going to be a little more support over here. And then obviously you got this angle. Next date to watch is going to be June 11th, tomorrow. It's a seasonal date. Maybe we'll get a pop tomorrow. I don't know. But if we do, if my Gann swing doesn't switch over, I'm not going long. If you see my last couple of videos, you've seen that there's a lot of forecasts for it to go up. Cycles, you name it, all kinds of stuff that I use in geometry and cycles and astros and everything. But we're doing all that, astro, forecasting, cycles, geometry, the square of 9, whatever, you name it. It's always going to have to be one thing that's going to keep you in check just in case all that stuff is wrong. And there's a few, and this I'm sharing with you one that I use. Is the Gann swing. This puppy doesn't turn green like here, I ain't going long. Unless you like scalping, it's cool. Nice little range. Shorter once it cracked this level right here, and you would have been a nice in there. A couple of pips down. And it could probably continue going down. Maybe it might test this pivot low, or it might even test this pivot low right here. But we'll see. But I just want to show you seasonal dates. Tend to work, and there's one tomorrow, so let's see how it happens. If not, there's going to be a couple from June 20th all the way to the 22nd, seasonal dates to watch for the euro. So as you can see, let's delete that and get that out. You see, it's just been selling, and this is where it's at right now. Let's go to my gunner. I want to show you something interesting. Most of you know that I move this around a lot. I normally try to keep it, normally it was here. Actually, no, it was more over here, but price already came out of the grid. So what I've been doing lately, and I switch it here and there, I like to keep it where this X is at, where that pivot high now is. That was a pivot turn. You can see the X, put a pivot turn here. It bounced off here. This arc went up. Did a pivot turn. It came in early, but it changed right there on this X. There's a pivot. Pop, then came down on the X right here, changed the trend up, changed the trend down on the grid, went up, changed the trend a couple of days later, came down, and now we're coming close to the end of this grid right here, which will be tomorrow, which will be lines up with the seasonal date. So we'll see how that pans out. And most of the times I do, you could have it over here where Mr. Gunner says either the 5th candle or the 8th candle. And that's the 5th candle, and you can see what it looks like there. And if you go to the 8th candle, you'll find it interesting that it hit there. So wherever you put it, there's going to be something you're going to be like, wow, look cool. It just and that's the nature of the market. See, I found resistance right at that arc, found support right here. Why it did that, I don't know. Why it didn't do it over here, I don't know. This is the madness of geometry and of the grid. See how it is that it failed here? you know. And I think this one, oops, I think this one right here is the, I believe is the 13th. And this is the 21st. So, you know, you can leave it here in the 5th bar, and you see that it failed this angle. It might probably go all the way down here. And if you put it up to the 8th bar, you can see that it's finding support right here at this angle. I'm going to leave it right on this X. Where am I? Right there. Just because I see the way things consistently change normally. You know, it's a couple of days off. And you know how it hit this grid. See how it hit this grid and it popped? How it hit this grid and it sold? You can just see it. Either grid line or X. Grid line, X, grid line, X, grid line, X. Grid line is coming up. So enough of that. Next thing I want to show you is this is my Gann grid using the 2-1 impulse, which is February the 1st. As my first impulse. You can see that we are right now by the 1x1. Should be interesting. We pierced it here, popped right back up. Now, failing it on today's candle. Now, if we close today there, and tomorrow we're below and we're pushing lower, it's either gonna find support at this 34.76, or it's probably going all the way down to this this level right here. Just wanted to show you that. And lastly, the big picture, PPS sell signal on a monthly. Interesting. We haven't had that in a while. Look at all these. I mean, we had it here, and then it popped. You and mobile, so it was chopped. You can see that the squeeze play was to the upside right here, and CCI was climbing slowly, and you know it was choppy here on TEMA. But same thing. The difference here is that on the monthly, we're about to come out of the mobile, so that's a big difference from the other PPS sell signal and the red candle. TEMA looks like it's just about to turn red, like here. Mobile is negative. This is potential for a snapback, but that will be for next month if it's going to do it. Fisher sell signal, one of my favorite. One of the also two signals that I keep an eye on to keep me in the right trend is the Fisher, the purple one. It's a good one to follow. Squeeze play, just got a green signal to go short, right there. On today's candle. Oh, actually, this weekly. This is a weekly thing. You can see that MMG below the 20. You're starting to build up buy signals on the weekly, but it's so early right now. But you just have the first one. CC, the 50 CC is about to crack the 0%, and the MACD is pushing lower. TEMA is negative. TEMA is telling you stay short, stay with the trend. You crack the 50 on the weekly. You crack the 37.5, which is kind of like a 38.2 Fibonacci level, somewhere around there, but I use percentages better. Below mobile band, very negative. If you're going to keep going lower, you're either going to find support at the 200 and this 500 simple moving average. So 34-ish, 3400, 34-ish could probably be support. Same thing here. You're at the 37.5, which is like a 38.2 Fibonacci level. And you got the full moon coming in tomorrow, not tomorrow, the 12th. I believe is the 12th. But I need to check that out. But I have it there as a marker to let me know when the moon cycles kick in. TEMA's negative. MACD just turned negative right here. Mobile is kind of chopped, but in the mobile, man. And this is nitro. This is energy for shorts. This is energy for bears right here. When you got all three, the 50, the 20, and the 5 on this level right here, that means the pressure's strong to the downside. The cycle looks like it's turning. MMG negative, pushing lower, and you can see that this is just kind of going sideways. And on the 12-hour, you got the squeeze play that it's been going on since the 3rd, and now you got the signal to go short. So you got two signals on the weekly and on the daily, and the short-term TTM wave negative. Hockey stick, Fisher sell, Nitro, the same as this Nitro right here. The difference here on the weekly is not as Nitro, but they're going in trend to the downside, and the 50 is just cracking the 0 level. MACD negative, MOBO negative, and MACD, TIMA. So there's a bunch of shorts, short signals, weakness. Not this one. Squeeze play, trigger today, trigger today. So is there more pressure to the downside? It's looking like it is. And you got the full moon coming up, so I don't know if the full moon is going to save this one or not, but it should be interesting. So those are my thoughts. I'm on the sidelines, and hopefully maybe tonight or tomorrow I can work on my cycle dates and take it from there. But remember, you always need a rule. You always need a rule in your forecasting and in your signal. And that one you can't break. I break it once in a while and I get my head handed to me. The Gann swing is still to the downside. This thing could stay there for a couple of days, even more. Even to June 22nd, 21st, pushing lower. Until this doesn't change, I'm not going long. I would love for it to turn and get a nice little swing right up, but you have to have a rule, and this is one of mine. There's a couple of more, but you need to figure out what's a good rule for you, just in case, you want to get cocky and go long because you feel like you know something more than anyone else. You need a rule, and this is my rule. Hope this helps. I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on the euro.